In this video, I want to illustrate how to trim the fabric that's already glued onto the board. So this is the front, and this is what the back needs to look like. What you do is you make sure that you do not leave an excessive margin. That's about 1.5 to 2 inches is acceptable. I would try to leave at least an inch margin. But you really need to be trimming the corners here diagonally right across that corner edge. You can feel the scissor hitting that corner edge, and if you can, as you make that upper cut, if you can pull back a little bit, you get a nice curve. That's what you really want. So up here we're going to do a diagonal cut right across, touching the tip of the board, and I'm going to try to curve it a little bit and pull it out. That's really good right there. Now the reason that you want to have that sort of curve is you want to be able to turn it around later, put glue on the board and perhaps on the fabric itself, and glue it onto the board. And as those two edges cover, you want to leave a little bit of the board exposed on the back end so that the paper of the end page can attach itself directly to the board and not to the fabric that itself is attached to the board. That's going to give it a stronger adhesion to the board, the end paper, eventually. In fact, I want to leave a little more space than that, so I'll try to get that on this corner. And you'll just have to practice on that. The more you practice, the more you will actually work that out. I'm going to trim the margin a little bit here. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to go through another round of trimming after it's glued to the back. Now, for this corner, I really would like to come in close to the edge there and out, close in and out. So I want to sort of cut an M there if I can. I'm going to go in, I'm going to come out like that, and then I'm going to come in and out. Okay, so you see that cut there, and that's going to allow me eventually, when I turn around and I have to work on the back, to have a good piece of that wood exposed. And that's exactly what's going to give the book more strength, because it will allow that end page eventually to make contact directly with the board here, but also at the very corners there. If your end page is actually, for example, let's just say you cut it like that, and your end page is touching fabric, then the strength of that part of your end page, the strength of the adhesion there, the glue contact there, is going to depend on how well the fabric stays to the board. And after a year or two of existence or of use, that fabric may work itself loose a little bit, and then your end page is you're going to fill that gap there. It's much better if you are able to expose a little bit at the end of the board, leave it exposed so that paper can glue right to that corner, and that's going to be a very strong way to finish out the book when we're done. So I just need to trim one more corner here. I'm going to go ahead and start in, more straight than not, curve out, start in along the corner, and then just pull out. If you just pull out as you cut, you're going to get that curve, and that also is going to be fine. You see I've left some board exposed.